Here's an X that's also overlooking the camping spot I was at. The camping spot's kind of a little bowl. Several leans over here. More leans, just quite a few leans throughout here. But anyway, I'll try to recount what happened last night. I'm still, tired. I ate some more food and drank some water, so I'll see if I can do it justice, I guess. But so about 12:30, I would say, at night, roughly, it sounded like something noisily positioned itself on one side of the, kind of the edge of the. It's hard to tell how far, but on one side of the clearing. Then I think about 1:30 maybe, something else positioned itself noisily on the opposite side, kind of flanking me, kind of off to the side, but it was the opposite side. Then I thought I heard something. Then roughly maybe 2:30, there was a loud crack. It wasn't, just a wood knock. It was a loud piece of timber that had been, cracked. So that got my attention. I didn't, budge. I didn't move any. There's something up here. I'll show you in a minute. Sometime maybe around between 3 and 4:30 in the morning, I actually heard what sounded to me like bipedal running. And it was it wasn't so heavy that it sounded like it was pounding away, but it was, it had some weight behind it. It was moving quick, kind of like Olympic sprinting, but it's 300-pound individual or something like that. I don't know. It's hard to tell really at night, but that's kind of interesting. But anyway, it did not sound like a deer or anything like that. A distinctive sound, just like a person, except very athletic and on the heavy side. So, and I don't know who would be, sprinting at 3 in the morning in the dark, and it's less than half of the moon is, full. I guess it's a little less than half brightness. So anyway, that's what happened. Fortunately, I'm the only one who was here. So, and I have no footage of it, no audio. So I have to upgrade my, I think, audio capabilities here, because that would have been a good recording. I've never heard that before. I don't do many, nighttime solo camping, because I don't really like it, actually. But I did try to invite some people, but nobody's able to show up, so just me. And anyway, I think if I missed anything. Oh yes, after that, it sounded like there was a little bit of like rock clacking, almost like something was, almost as if it were fashioning it like a tool, like it wasn't a woodpecker. It was. Oh, and sometimes I would hear a squirrel go off, like he was alerting everybody, because like these things, I guess, were probably under the canopy there and setting off the squirrel, I guess. So I would hear that periodically in between when they actually were moving. They did not do much moving at all, just a very short, kind of noisy burst of it. And they would go pretty much silent for, hour or more. At first I thought, well, maybe that's a, moose or a elk or something on the bigger side, because there's a lot of, stuff you can crunch on here if you can't, anyway. But a moose can't do a loud crack of timber that's, they can do crunching, but this was a distinct, gunshot almost to the level of pop or crack, almost a boom. And then they don't sound like a biped either. They sound more like something like that, not thump 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 thump, or swish 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 swish. Because if you're going through grass, I could tell they were. It sounded like what they did. They were at the edge of the forest, and they just took off, just right along the edge of the grass of the clearing, and just fast as they could, running back into the forest. I guess, I don't know, like they were a juvenile, just having some fun, I don't know. But anyway, that's first for me hearing that. I guess, unless someone's playing a trick on me, I guess it could have been a human, but I just there are some trails around, but I mean, you have to go, almost a mile before you get here. I noticed there's what looks like, judging from the marks or the tread, there is a motorcycle trail that's, not too far away from here. I didn't take that here. I just kind of went using my GPS randomly through the forest. Most direct path I could see. But, the person was not on a motorcycle. I didn't hear any of that. I didn't hear any English vocalization, and just complete silence except for the the things I mentioned that were standing out. Well, I guess there was kind of an owl type vocalization, or I don't know what that was, but it was something similar to an owl, and then there was a couple of them on and off through the night. But that was more earlier in the evening. I think it started up again right before dawn. So anyway, there's my rambling about that. If you have any questions, I guess let me know. But I'm going to start heading back. I might film another thing here. I hiked in here. I was expecting to start 7:30 p.m., which would give me a couple hours before sundown, but I finally really started at 8:30. So my first hour was, in the light and dusk. And then the last hour was just, going right through the dark with the headlamp. So not my favorite type of hiking, but I couldn't film anything because it was too dark for the most part, except the very beginning. I got some very dark footage. Anyway, that's all for now. So here's the clearing in the daytime. On this side is where the thing started, about 12:30, and kind of over here, 1:30. The crack, I think, was somewhere off in here, from what I could tell. Sprinting seems like it just hit the edge of this and back in, but I don't know. It's really tough to tell, but that's my general perception. The little clackings later on would sound like rocks over there again. Oh, I forgot to add. So I heard them when it seemed like they moved in, and also when they moved out. So about 4:30, this one, I think it was this one. 4:30, that one sounded like he moved out from his position. 5:30, this one moved out. And then an hour later, the sun was up. So anyway, in between those stretches, I didn't hear anything except for when they came in and they went out, and then the cracks and things like little clackings, but no vocalizations that I could tell. And I was awake all night, so anyway. Okay. So it's somewhere between 6:30 and 7 in the morning. I didn't sleep all night. I guess I'll tell you more about that later, but I did hear some activity last night, and I think I'll address it when I'm a little better rested. So I'm on the hill up above where I was camping. This is interesting right here. Look at this up here. Right now, I'm just going to the top of the mountain here because there is a good photographic overlook area. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. I guess 5. 5 branches all woven at the top, almost making a teepee. You have one that's suspended in the air over here. Go up to it here. Yes, I'm sure that just happens naturally all the time. Not sure how it's showing up. The lighting might not be that great. But just all woven up there, I guess you could say, into the peak there. Looks like they're all stripped except for this one that might have grown there. Kind of an X. They're not close to each other, but it gives the impression of an X from here, I guess. Let's see if I can get a good picture of that kind of teepee-like thing. Okay, there's some of the view. See if I can find a better vantage point. I actually met up with a human-made trail as falling game trails, and finally I met up with this real trail for the overlook. After about, probably like 0.65 miles in really rough terrain. Here we are, here's the overlook. Should be able to get some decent photos here. There's a lot of, some smoke down there from all the campfires, people down in the canyon. Anyway, where I was camping, it's way down in there, a little short of a mile. Okay. Hello, this is M.K. Davis. Here we have a moose. Oh, there's a moose. He's a big bull. Luckily, he's doesn't seem to want to charge me. I didn't even notice he was there. Right when I break into my M.K. Davis impersonation, which I haven't yet perfected. I'm just gonna see if he comes through the clearing there. I'm definitely not gonna go after him, but a little bit closer. There he is. Well, anyway, I guess there he goes. I'm not going to go after him. It's a pretty big bull moose, I guess, kind of, with the antlers. Anyway, as I was about to say, this is M.K. Davis. I know my voice is magical and soothing. You don't have to tell me that. Thank you for your time. Oh, the M.K. Davis voice is luring him in. No. So you notice how this tree is bounced right up on this, well, it's broken down in that area right there. And you have all this down here. Is it just by chance fortuitous storm knocked it that way? Or something else afoot, I guess. There's something else going on. Anyway. So I made it back down to that spot that I was at earlier today, down from the overlook. Kind of treacherous getting back down. Yes. So I'm just going to see how it looks with different lighting here. Since it was early in the morning, I saw this last. I'm not sure what time it is now, but it's probably closer to maybe 11 or something, I don't know. Here's a little kind of seeping spring, I guess you'd say. And the reason I flipped on the camera is this track. I don't know what it is, but I find it to be kind of interesting. It's probably just a hoofed animal skidding down, but it's long. Here's my foot in comparison, I guess. Doesn't really have toes, so it's probably just this hoofed animal here, then it slid down or something like that. Anyway, a few more potential hoof prints there, I guess. There's definitely one right there. So here's something of interest, I'd say. This is also overlooking the little clearing or field that I was camping in. It's closer than the other one. It just seems, arranged the way you have 90-degree angles here, and intersecting snugly and conveniently. And it's accompanied by this stuff over here. So anyway. Kind of funny looking to see that up there. Heavy duty, just leaned against the tree there. I don't know how it's coming out on the video. So I found another route that goes into the clearing where I camped at. And this route's a lot less squatchy than what I took last night. It's almost like a meadow-like compared to what I did last night. I think I kind of maybe marched right through their territory. Maybe that's why they were aware of me and they kind of kept an eye on me all night or something. But this route's completely different, and it's going generally the right direction. It's going to meet up with the main trail eventually. This is like a little narrow, appears to be a motorcycle trail or something, and so it should eventually get me where I need to go, but a lot less squatchy. I just thought I'd film this because it kind of has a large tree there and everything, but for the most part it's, not much worth filming. It's just kind of a trail, so And like I said, I couldn't film last night. I tried, it's too dark, hiking through what I was then, so anyway. Okay.